Tensions in West Asia are rising sharply once again. Following a third round of talks that ended with no breakthrough, Iran has issued a chilling new warning to the United States, cautioning that any unwise action could ignite what it described as a widespread fire across the region. The statement comes amid escalating rhetoric, increased military deployments, and growing uncertainty over whether diplomacy is giving way to confrontation. The latest round of indirect talks between Tehran and Washington concluded without a deal, further deepening mistrust between the two sides. While officials have not disclosed full details of the negotiations, both camps appear far apart on key issues, particularly sanctions relief, nuclear activity, and regional security guarantees. Soon after the talks stalled, U.S. President Donald Trump warned that failure to reach an agreement could bring consequences far worse than previous military strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. That statement triggered a swift and forceful reaction from Tehran. Brigadier General Abulfazl Shekarchi, spokesperson for Iran's armed forces, dismissed the U.S. president's remarks as baseless, boastful, and delusional. But beyond the rhetoric, his message carried a clear warning. He cautioned that any aggressive move by Washington would ignite a widespread fire across West Asia, a phrase widely interpreted as a threat of regional escalation involving multiple fronts. Shekarchi emphasized that Iranian forces are on full alert and closely monitoring U.S. and allied military movements, including those of Israel. He warned that any provocation would trigger what he called a decisive response, one that American forces have never experienced before. Perhaps most striking was his claim that, in the event of conflict, U.S. troops, equipment, and regional interests would be within Iran's firing range. These warnings come as Washington increases its military footprint in the region. The United States has reportedly deployed an additional aircraft carrier strike group, thousands of troops, advanced warplanes, and guided missile destroyers. Officials describe the move as a defensive posture aimed at deterrence. But from Tehran's perspective, the presence of what Trump described as a beautiful armada of warships represents intimidation and psychological warfare. Iranian officials argue that such deployments heighten tensions rather than prevent conflict. The phrase widespread fire is particularly significant. West Asia is already a fragile geopolitical landscape with ongoing conflicts, proxy dynamics, and powerful regional actors. Any direct clash between Iran and the United States could rapidly spill beyond bilateral confrontation. Strategic waterways, energy infrastructure, U.S. bases, and allied positions across the region could become flashpoints. Analysts warn that miscalculation, even more than deliberate action, poses the greatest risk. Iran has repeatedly stated it does not seek war, but insists it will respond forcefully to any aggression. This dual messaging, defensive in tone but severe in warning, reflects a strategy aimed at deterrence through escalation threats. So is this political posturing or preparation for real conflict? For Washington, increased deployments signal strength and leverage in negotiations. For Tehran, public warnings project resolve and domestic unity. Both sides appear locked in a high-stakes game of brinksmanship, each hoping the other blinks first. Yet history shows that periods of intense rhetoric, combined with military mobilization, can create dangerous moments where a single incident spirals beyond control. As diplomacy stalls and threats intensify, the region watches anxiously. Iran's latest warning underscores just how volatile the situation has become after 3 rounds of talks failed to deliver progress. Whether this confrontation leads back to negotiations or towards something far more dangerous may depend on what happens next. For now, the message from Tehran is unmistakable. It says any attack will not go unanswered, and the consequences could extend far beyond one battlefield. The question is whether deterrence will hold, or whether West Asia stands on the brink of a much wider conflict.
The skies over Europe are shifting. For decades, NATO's watchful eye has been fixed eastward, locked on Russia, tracking every movement, every signal, every shadow in the clouds. But now, in a move that is sending shockwaves through military circles, the alliance has turned. The focus is no longer Moscow. It is Tehran. According to sources familiar with the decision, NATO has quietly redirected its air surveillance operations in Turkey, pivoting from Russia to Iran as fears of a US-led military campaign intensify. This is not routine. This is recalibration at the highest level of strategic command. From the central Anatolian city of Konya, advanced AWACS radar aircraft, NATO's flying command centers, are lifting off with renewed urgency. These are not ordinary planes. They are airborne nerve centers, capable of tracking missiles, aircraft, troop movements, scanning deep into contested airspace. And now, they are watching Iran. Flight frequencies have increased, surveillance patterns have tightened. The alliance is looking south and east, reading signals, mapping responses, preparing for contingencies that just months ago seemed distant. Behind closed doors, officials are weighing a possibility once considered unthinkable: a US-led strike designed to force Tehran into concessions, particularly over its nuclear program. The calculation is stark. Pressure Iran hard enough, and it may bend. Refuse, and a broader military response could follow. Turkey, positioned at the crossroads of East and West, is reportedly preparing for exactly that scenario: defensive measures, strategic coordination, quiet readiness. Publicly, Ankara urges restraint. Privately, preparations move forward. NATO has not issued dramatic statements. There are no flashing headlines from headquarters. But in military strategy, movement speaks louder than words, and this movement is unmistakable. When an alliance built to counter Russia reallocates surveillance assets toward Iran, it signals more than curiosity. It signals concern. It signals contingency planning. It signals the possibility that the next flashpoint may not be in Eastern Europe, but in the Middle East. The silence from defense ministries deepens the tension. No confirmations, no denials, just aircraft in the sky and radar sweeping across Iranian territory. And Iran knows it is being watched. In high-stakes geopolitics, surveillance is not passive. It is preparation. Preparation for diplomacy or preparation for conflict. The timing is impossible to ignore. Because as NATO's eyes shift toward Iran, Tehran is not standing quietly in the shadows. Iran has issued a ballistic warning to the United States, backed by displays of missile capability that underscore its reach and resolve.